host for today, Azola Mzegandaba. Entrepreneurship to the Point is a platform that informs, equips, inspires, and please, you can also register on ETTP. That is at www.ettp.co.za. That's our website, where you can really register for all our webinars. We've had a variety of different webinars. We've had masterclasses. We've had conversations with entrepreneurs from different spaces in the property and related spaces. So please, if you do, the best way to do it is to just go on to www.ettp.co.za. And there you can register for all our webinars. You'll get prompted whenever we have a webinar. So today, I'm your host, Azola Mzegandaba. Those that really know me, they call me the Joy of Jazz. I hope I'll be quite inspirational today in proceedings. I've got a lovely gentleman today by the name of Benedict Khoza. He told me as well that those who really know him, they just call him Benny. So Benny, thank you for joining us. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, Azola. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you so much. No, thank you for joining us. Today we are just going to be in conversation with Benny, just to have a real intimate conversation, nothing too technical, but something that's real on a personal level on how his journey has been with his company. His company name is Greenlight Legacy, also known as GLL. GLL for me is quite a nice and lovely name, because green speaks about stuff, which is health and life. So I don't know, maybe to start off, maybe Benedict or Benny, whichever you like to be called, you might just tell us about your company, the company name, where it comes about, because Greenlight Legacy seems like quite a name.
Yes, thank you. So Greenlight Legacy was established in 2011. We are a construction company. We offer a full range of services from procurement, construction, as well as maintenance services. Our core business is really roads construction. That's my background as the director. Some of our clients that we are servicing include large construction companies with whom we are subcontracted, as well as the education sector in the form of schools with whom we're doing maintenance work. So the name Greenlight is actually in line with Greenlight is like opening a way to proceed. So we are your vehicle to proceed with whatever dream you want to build, whatever legacy you want to leave. So we are the green light, really. That's the background of the name.
All right, no, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. We know a lot of businesses within the first few years, particularly the first 5 years, we've seen that a lot of small businesses actually fail. So as you say that you've started in 2011, if my maths is not too bad, that would be 9 years, I'd assume. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it has to be 9 years. So it means you're a business that has survived the first 5 years, which a lot of businesses or small businesses struggle to get over this 5-year landmark. What would you think is the reasons for that from your personal experience? And if so, what do you think other businesses can do to make sure that they go over this 5-year period?
We actually weren't that fortunate as well. We failed within our first year. And within our first year, we failed, and I was angry with myself. I actually left the company. I went back to seek employment because we came in inexperienced, and we made mistakes right from the beginning. But like you say, I made it a point that when I come back, I would have learned from those mistakes and actually prepared to take the company forward.
So some of these you speak about like that the business failed within the first year, coming
Yes,
off the question of like what does it take for the business to go over and beyond the 3 to 5 year mark, which most SMEs actually fail. So you say you made a couple of mistakes, like well-known mistakes that a couple of entrepreneurs do is that like once people start receiving money, instead of reinvesting it in the business, you find like that a lot of people start spending the money for personal consumption. Like we find this and we see this a lot in the trend of what is called the tenderpreneurs, where people now, once you get some money, you're spending it on like a fancy car. Like myself, I like cars. C63 is probably one of my favorites. So someone like me, you could argue, might just buy like a C63. But like, what are the type of mistakes you think you made, and like just for the people who are listening, so that like people don't repeat the same mistakes, you know?
yes.
Yeah.
So the first mistake I made was we didn't sign any contracts when we engaged with this was one of our first clients, and it didn't end well, and they actually never paid us.
Mhm.
So that was our first mistake. And like I said, I was angry with myself for not, you know, seeing that coming, which led to abandoning the company. But there were a couple of other, I call them necessary mistakes, because that's the process through which we learn. That's the process through which we grow. And the same mistakes, I was listening to the other entrepreneurs the other day. He was talking about money coming in, and you are still young. Um, you think you've got it all. You think you know it all, and you don't reinvest the money in the company. So we made some of those mistakes, and we bent our fingers. Yes.
Mm. No, it's a good thing that you're saying it's necessary mistakes and mistakes that you've learned from. You know, there's always this saying that sometimes we need to pay our school fees, and it sounds like
Yes.
you're someone who's paid his school fees, you know, which is quite fantastic. But like speaking about failing, like right now we're seeing a lot of businesses are going through quite a difficult time given like the COVID-19 pandemic. So this pandemic is essentially like a shock to the market. It's an externality. No one expected it. It just came like out of the blue. I don't know, for Greenlight Legacy, how have you found the experience to date?
Look, the experience has been twofold. From a financial point of view, it has been a negative impact. But on a human side of it, as much as it exposes our weaknesses, but it also an opportunity for us to discover our strengths.
Mm.
You know, I strongly believe that through this, human race will come out stronger, in that we'll be more aware of how strong we really are and how resilient we can be. So it's twofold. We can complain over the financial impact that it has proven to be, but also there are positives. I choose to concentrate on the positives.
Mm. Right. No, fantastic. You're actually reminding me of quite a cool law. It's called the law of polarity, that in any event or circumstance, you've got the positive and then you've got the negative. So everything comes in two. You know, as you said, like it's twofold. There's the financial aspect, and then there's also like the human aspect. So all I'm gathering from you, what you're saying, using the law of polarity, is that you've taken this opportunity to use it as a lesson to say, for Greenlight Legacy, we're going to harvest the good out of this, you know.
Yes.
And like I think that's absolutely fantastic, and you know, like quite a proactive and you know, progressive way to do things. So I just like to remind everyone that we are able to ask questions. So if you do have any question, particularly for Benedict, who's the owner of Greenlight Legacy, has described it earlier on, what space he's in, please feel free on our platform, on our chat platform, to ask any question. And once I get that question, I'll direct it to him, or any other general question that you think might be relevant for the discussion. Please don't forget to send us those questions. And as I mentioned earlier on, you will find us on all social medias. That's LinkedIn, Instagram, as well as Twitter, Entrepreneurship to the Point, or go to our website, www.ettp.co.za. Please do register for these webinars, as the webinar we're having right now. Also, we are available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. I think there's a lot of other conversations that we've had with entrepreneurs, with industry leaders, and like different relief funds. Speaking about relief funds, there's been quite a number of relief funds, like particularly for employees. You mentioned the human side in the last question. Have you applied for any of the relief funds? And maybe take us through the process, how you found the process. I know a lot of people say it's a cumbersome process. How did you find the process if you did apply? I don't know, what's your experience been? Are you even before we get there, are you struggling with any working capital issues?
We did apply for the relief. We went through the South African Future Trust, which I found to have been very responsive and very quick in terms of turnaround. So our employees are benefiting from that fund. In terms of working capital, look, we are in 100% lockdown. So there wasn't, we've always kept our overheads like to the bare minimum. So there wasn't for us that great a need really to go out for funding as such. We just like going with the wave, and until everything goes back to where it was before the lockdown. But definitely when we resume, the issue of working capital will come to play.
Okay.
To kickstart, yes.
All right. What do you mean to kickstart exactly?
So we, like I said, we're servicing currently, some of our clients includes schools that we're doing maintenance for. So the cost of doing business, we must quickly, come to terms with the fact that it's gonna change, in the sense that just on a general human resources, an average worker will now have to be equipped with items that were not there before the lockdown. Protective equipment, sanitizers that are running out, needs to be refilled. So those are costs that one needs to factor in when we resume. Transport regulations that will affect groupings of people traveling to work, in a sense that you cannot fill a minibus with workers. So those type of things that they factor into the bottom line.
Yes, no, definitely. I agree with you 100%. We've seen also on our platform, and other entrepreneurs have actually said that people are expecting an increase in operational expenditure, particularly with like the human resource line item, because we do have to factor in these increased expenditure, like from an occupational health and safety perspective. So I agree with you 100% there. I've got a question on the line from a lady called Samantha Gumete. Samantha Kumete is asking, so she's got two questions. I'll start with the first one. And the first one is, Benny, what is your why? So basically, what makes you wake up in the morning? What is your why?
My why is the desire to solve problems. What keeps me awake at night is not the unpaid bills or the wage bill. It's the desire to solve problems. I can't wait for the next day to get up and be a solution and be part of a solution. That is my why.
Mm. Okay, no, that's fantastic. So the second question is, Benny, how do you differentiate yourself from the masses in the construction industry, seeing as though the industry is so saturated?
Yes, so I call this the three magic words that the client comes to a stage where they say these three magical words. Either I need you or I want you to do something, a particular task. So at that moment in time, I take that as power transferred to me as a person who wants to solve a problem, because they admitting at that moment that they are unable to perform that task without you. So it is a power that my team and I, we take very serious and we use it to respond to that particular individual's need with dignity, with efficiency, and it leaves a mark. So it will leave a mark. It's only a matter of time before they refer you to the next person or they talk about you in their networks. And that's the legacy that we're not just building a company, we're building a legacy.
Okay, no, fantastic. You talk about three magic words. Even here at Entrepreneurship to the Point, we also talk about three magic words, which are three R's, which is reputation, risks, and relationship. So we believe businesses should be continuously mitigating risk, forming like good relationships with their clients, with their suppliers, or any other stakeholder. And this will maintain a good relationship, which is kind of in sync with exactly what you've been saying with regards to your three magic words. So guys, please remember we are live on YouTube, Entrepreneurship to the Point. And again, please subscribe to our channel, as well as you can find us at www.ettp.co.za. You can subscribe to all these webinars. I've actually got one more question, Benny. Roland says, what would your older self say to your younger self if you could go back to the day you started your business? What advice would you give yourself?
Know why you came into business. Know like the previous question. Know your why. Many of us these days, it's an in thing to just register a company and see how far or where you can go. So my advice would be to know your why, because that will dictate your attitude. That will dictate your mental direction. And knowing how many people are tied to that why, because your seriousness about that goal or dream has got a lot to do with the people that are tied to that.
Yes. Okay. All right. No, thank you so much, Benny. We see on the chat they're calling you the solutionist here. So you have talked about like thinking about that post-COVID, like that you will have like increased working capital. So
Yes.
with regards to already having these different types of scenarios, have you done some sort of scenario planning? Because like we're finding a lot of businesses are saying it's very difficult to plan for a tomorrow that's so unknown, because like even now, at least now we know that at level, we're at level 4, and then we'll be moving to level 3 from the end of May. But like you talked about that you're in complete lockdown. So like for a business that is in complete lockdown, what are your plans like to start to kickstart your business and starting to get back into the market?
So we're not sitting. We are active.
Yeah.
One of the things that we have done as Greenlight is we have set 3 milestones for ourselves. And it so happened that the beginning of the lockdown, we were just gearing into our next sort of developmental stage, wherein the first we wanted to prove the concept, right? Paint the blueprint of our business. The second, then we analyze our highs and our lows to see, maximize on the highs and learn from the lows. So that has been our exercise that we're undertaking. Okay. And from that, we are able to see that, the type of approach we are having with our client, existing and new, it's unique in its way, in a sense that I spoke about the 3 magic words, but also we partner with young achievers, young aspiring scientists, engineers who want to express their skills. So we've been hard at work. We developed products that are ready for market tests right now. We have a model that is aimed at optimizing sewer treatment plants. We just need a pilot plant to test it. We have something. Yes.
Yeah, you have something? No, you can carry on.
No, I was saying we have something like 820 sewer treatment plants run by municipalities across the country. And less than 100 of those actually discharge water at the end of the process. So this is a product that seeks to solve that. Because those gallons and gallons of water end up on our rivers.
Yeah.
So we've been working on new technologies, new innovations, but it had nothing to do with COVID. We were just getting ready for the next phase of our business.
Okay. Sure. No, thank you for that. Like, you seem to have been extremely proactive and ready for the situation. You actually touched on a few issues on innovation and technology while you were talking right there, which brings me to one of the questions that was posed here. What are the plans for Greenlight Legacy to educate or empower any young upcoming entrepreneurs?
So we want to partner with entrepreneurs that are like-minded vision-wise, because our motto is that anything is possible. So we want to be concept of that. We want to be the platform for those ideas to be cultivated and nurtured. Make resources available for them to be able then to express those skills or projects. So definitely that is our long-term vision, to partner with bright minds in our society.
Okay, no, thank you so much for that. Yeah, please, guys, remember, maybe we can, I don't know, I can't see any more questions coming in. We'll probably have that as our last question. We really love to keep it short and sweet. Benedict Khoza, thank you so much for joining us in this In Conversation. part of Entrepreneurship to the Point. As I said earlier on, you can find us live on YouTube, as well as subscribe to our newsletter at www.ettp.co.za, and find us also on all other social media platforms. My name's Azola Mzegandaba, also known as the Joy of Jazz. It's been absolutely fantastic to be here. One thing though, before I go, is that tomorrow we have another session with our host tomorrow, Desigan Chetty, which is our Chief Operating Officer. He'll be speaking to founder of Mbilentle Consulting, which is Ukosi Kunene. They'll be speaking primarily about going back to work, health and safety guidelines. Myself as Azola Mzegandaba, it was my first day back at work today. NgesiZulu kuthiwa indoda idla umjuluko wayo, which means a man eats his own sweat. So I've been your host for today. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Benedict, for joining us and telling us about your story about Greenlight Legacy. We wish you nothing but the best for the future. And yeah, keep inspiring those around you. Thank you so much. We hope you join us tomorrow at 2:30. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Cheers.